acts of human trafficking. It's a record 288 people arrested.
They're not reporting the real numbers.
The numbers are segmented and they are fictitious.
I started my career in 1997 in the United States Border Patrol. It was one of the most violent times in recent Border Patrol history. I made my bones and my reputation on that border. I believe what is happening on the border today is intentional.
We have people in the United States of America that breed children in order to sell them.
Our own government is facilitating the absolute destruction of the American immigration system, and I can prove it point by point. I'm unafraid to speak the truth. This is just data-driven and experience-driven.
Welcome to the MAGA Minute. It's been a huge week here at the White House, and let's go over the wins President Trump delivered on behalf of you, the American people. On immigration, illegal migrant encounters between the ports of entry are down nearly 87%. On the economy, President Trump laid out a plan to establish a sovereign wealth fund to better invest the more than $5 trillion in assets held by the United States. He also proposed tariffs on imports from Canada and Mexico and China, and those tariffs were swiftly paused after our allies agreed to step up and address these issues. We are streamlining USAID into the State Department. President Trump signed a historic executive order to ban men in women's sport. Lastly, President Trump is already making our military strong again. Army recruitment in the month of December, with the anticipation of President Trump's return to the Oval Office, hit a 15-year high. We'll see you for next week's MAGA Minute.
Commitment to peace throughout the world and the incredible diplomatic success that you had with the DRC, as my colleagues mentioned. You said that this put an end to a long war that claimed many lives, and thankfully you were here to put an end to this 30-year war. I also wanted to express that Africa supports all efforts to bring back peace to Sudan, Libya, and in the Sahel. Mr. President,
in May, 0 aliens were released into the U.S. Tom Homan, the border czar and former Heritage Visiting Fellow, has worked in immigration since 1984, and he says he has never seen 0 releases. President Trump has accomplished this by enforcing the laws that Congress passed, and by also using a greater military presence on the southern border, including more military assets. But a lot more interior enforcement work needs to be done. We have no idea who snuck in among the more than 2 million known gotaways. And we're currently being warned about potential Iranian sleeper cells in the U.S. following the bombing of nuclear enrichment facilities in Iran. We need to apply consequences to those who violated our laws to increase compliance with those laws.
You expected some of this, but this is better than expected?
Yeah, Sarah, it is. Look, this jobs market is like the Energizer Bunny. Every single time we expect it to run out of steam, it just keeps going and going. So these new numbers show that the U.S. economy added 147,000 jobs in June. That was well ahead of the expectation of about 118,000, well ahead of some whispers that we heard on Wall Street of a sub 100,000 number. So this is indeed beating expectations. We were also expecting a slowdown. We did not get that. This is basically in line with May, which was revised higher. It's also good news. The unemployment rate was expected to go up. It didn't. It went down to 4.1%. That is a very healthy number. This is still relatively historically low. And again, it's below the 4.3% that we had expected.
Welcome to the Truth with JJ Carroll. I played you those clips because I think there are times we have such high expectations, and I do, with Donald Trump and what he needs to do and what he has done, that I think we need to take a moment, just a moment every now and then, to realize what this man has accomplished. I mean, that's just 5 or 6 clips of what this man has accomplished. I could spend a whole 24 hours just clip after clip after clip. Illegal immigration entries on the southern border down to basically zero. I want you to understand they're arresting a couple hundred people a day. That's like one person every 10 miles for every 24 hours of a day. It's like it doesn't exist. I talk to Border Patrol agents, say we're just sitting on our thumbs. There's nothing to see. There's nothing to do. I mean, we've never seen anything like this. The only time we saw something like this was at the end of Donald Trump's term in office this last year, before the election was stolen. Look what he did to Iran. Don't have to like going to war, but he set the stage. I don't like following Israel around like a puppy dog, but Donald Trump did what he had to do, and he did it quick, and he left. He's not building back better Iran. Look what he's done to the economy. The economy's booming. 401ks are booming again. Unemployment at 4.1. Anything under 5% means basically zero unemployment, because we have to have there has to be some kind of changeover. People leaving jobs, getting new jobs. You look at the jobs report. Off the chart. Off the chart. I'm going to show you a clip in a few minutes of the amount of U.S. citizens getting jobs versus illegal aliens. Everything has changed because of Donald Trump. Our whole nation is beginning to change. Is there more work to do? Hell yeah, it is. We are beginning to turn the battleship, or the fleet of battleships are just starting to turn. They haven't even really made a turn yet. They're just kind of, we're at 1 degree from straight ahead down the path of hell. We're turning around. There's so much, I mean, the corruption and the Trojan horse of traitors inside of our country and inside of our government is staggering. It's overwhelming, to be honest with you. So I feel this compelling need to do more and more and more. Can you imagine? That's just what I know. Could you imagine you being Donald Trump? You're Donald Trump. And the moment you wake up to the moment you go to bed, you're making massive decisions. Not just, hey, you know what color of this or that, or you need to give this speech. That's exhausting on its own, just giving, 5, 10, 15 speeches and interviews knowing that every word's going to be scrutinized. That's exhausting. But then throw on there, we need to talk about bombing Iran. We need to talk about what we're going to do on the border. We need to talk about the economy. We need to talk about what we're doing in China. I mean, it's non-stop for this man. So I give him immense amount of grace. Now, when he missteps, which he's done on the talk of amnesty and the Epstein, I'm going full bore. But at the same time, every time I'm talking about that, what I don't like, I look over here and I think, my God, what has he accomplished in 6, 7, 8 months? I mean, what some presidents haven't been able to accomplish in 2 terms. And everything he's doing, it is for the betterment of America, with the exception of the amnesty talk and the Epstein. And I'm hoping he changes his mind, or I'll beat that drum. I'll just be on there every day saying this is wrong, because I have to be fair. But if I am fair, which I am, I'm looking at Donald Trump and I'm saying, sir, you are easily one of the top presidents in the nation, in the history of the nation. And you are so close to being the greatest if you just go and just do it. The left hates you. The media hates you. The rhinos are just trying to use you and manipulate you so they can just get through this and get to J.D. Vance or Marco Rubio in the future, and then it kind of all goes back to the same. The Lindsey Grahams and all that. President Trump has to figure out a way to eradicate those people from his orbit and just have people like Stephen Miller that are just nonstop straight ahead. Unapologetic, straight ahead. We're coming for you. Donald Trump has accomplished so much, and yet there is just the tip of the iceberg. The amount of corruption that is in our government is mind-boggling. Why won't the Epstein tapes, evidence, list, whatever you want to call it, why won't they be released? Well, because the most powerful in our society, cutting through all sectors, social, politics, business, entertainment, got honeypotted, raped children. And the now narrative that's going around is, well, our economy and our nation will fall if all those people are brought to justice. As if that's an excuse not to arrest them. If that's what America's built on, pedophilia, then we need to tear her down to the studs and cast America to the far corners of the earth and rebuild. We have a sick world we live in. Donald Trump is not the answer. He's just not. He's one man. We have to demand it. We have to just continually make it known to him and the people around him. But at the same time, I don't think anything's going to change in the Epstein. I don't think, I'm hearing people that I thought I respected come out and just say, hey, can we just move on? No. Okay. All right, sir, let me ask you just a simple question to my audience or to anybody that would say, let's just move on. Your daughter or your son was raped repeatedly by pedophiles. And I come to you after your child's dead, or I hand the child back to you and he is physically, emotionally, spiritually destroyed. I handed you back your child. That's not your child. You love your child with all your heart and soul, but you're looking at this beautiful child and he's no longer that child. He or she is something completely different. That child has been traumatized to the point that that child's changed. They're unrecognizable. And I come to you the moment after you hug your child and I tell you, you know what we need to do here, sir? We just need to move on. We know who the people did this, but we're just going to move on. We think that's the best for the country. What's your response going to be to that? So whenever anybody tells you, let's move on, you just tell them, are you insane? What would you do if it was your child? There's no way in hell you're going to move on. No, not going to happen. Donald Trump needs to go full force. He needs to be a bull in the china shop that he was when he first started and just start doing whatever needs to be done and do it now. And do it over and over and over every single day. And push the people that are your lieutenants, the Tom Homans, the Kristi Noems, the Pete Hesseg, the Kash Patel, Dan Bongino's, Pam Bondi's, everyone, and push them until they can't do anymore, and then remove them and find someone else. And drive them until they can't do anymore and remove them. That's the thought process of the President of the United States. That's how bad it is in America right now. But I wanted to point out just a few things that he's doing great. He's doing things that I didn't even think of. He's outside the box. I want my audience to continue to please support our sponsors. One of our sponsors is sat123.com. We have Chris on every Friday. We talk about the necessity of sat phones, the necessity of a generator, a necessity of a Starlink. So we have connectability. And again, we always talk about this. You don't think you need it until you need it, right? Did Kerrville, Texas, looking at if somebody was looking over the bridge, one of those drive over bridge, and look down on the creek or the riverbed was completely dry, like cracks in the clay, dry. And then I told you, hey, in 6 hours, we're going to have a massive flood. It's going to destroy everything. It's going to kill 100 people and wipe out everything. And you would say, you're crazy. There's nothing in the sky. The creek bed, the riverbed's bone dry, like bone dry. Nope, here it comes. What if I told you in Maui that the whole place is going to burn down, Helena? It's going to burn down. People are going to say that there's actually laser beams flying into the sky, burning these buildings, or Pacific Palisades burned to the ground. You'd be like, what are you talking about? Yeah, there's going to be no water in the fire hydrants or the reservoir because all the DEI hires in LA. You think you need a sat phone? You think you need some connectability? The idea is to be prepared. Be prepared. And that's what you do. Go to sat123.com, sat123.com. Maybe, Thomas, you can put that up on the screen if you have it. Has a phone number too. But sat123.com/JJ. And here's the best part. You have a question? You call them. Yeah, there it is. You call them. Guess who's on the other line? An American citizen that speaks English. Oh, what a novel approach. Remember when that was just like, of course somebody's on the other line, speaks English, can tell me what the hell's going on with my product. That's SAT123. Go to sat123.com/JJ. I want to stay on this theme, if you will, of Donald Trump and to make America great again. Make America first and always first. And he has people in his cabinet that are driving this point home. And what I love about these people that he's getting are speaking like we speak. If you listen to Tom Homan, Kristi Noem, Stephen Miller, at times Kash Patel, even though that whole world has seemed kind of funky right now, but Bassett, Ludnick, you start listening to these guys, it's like you're at a bar and you're just talking, or you're at having lunch with your friend and you guys are just talking. Like, how can the Democrats do this? How can the government do something like this? This is how they talk, and this is why it's so effective, because it sounds real, so people believe them. I'm going to play you a clip of Kristi Noem, and she doesn't pull any punches, and she says exactly what we all believe and know is the truth, that the Democrats are socialists and communists, and they're the enemy of America. That's a powerful statement coming from a regular American citizen, but it has a different punch, level of violence, if you will, when it comes from somebody inside the belly of the beast, Kristi Noem. Play this, Thomas, and watch what she says. Listen what she says.
And when you break the law, there's consequences for it. But then you say, but anybody from any other country, you get to wave that away. That's absolutely insanity. No country does that. There's nobody that actually defends that except for the fake news and a bunch of liberals who actually are turning out to be communists and Marxists. They're not just liberals anymore. If you look at the Democrat Party, they're a party of communists and Marxists and socialists. So I would completely say nobody defends that. No American that I've talked to on the streets across this country will defend allowing illegal aliens to be treated better than American citizens. That's not what our founders intended. They came here to be free and to have liberty and fought for this country. And they fought the biggest military giant in the world that existed with their own personal handguns and muskets that they used to feed their families to give us this country. You think we're just going to let it go away? Absolutely not. I've got kids and grandkids that I'm going to fight every day for to make sure that they get the same chance to grow up with the opportunities that I had the chance to grow up with.
I love Kristi Noem. I love when she says how she says I've seen a person, beautiful woman, tiny. She's about $115 with boots on and a big belt buckle and a hat. Maybe. But she doesn't shy away, and she says it just like it is. The Democrats are mental patients. The Democrats are Marxist and communist and socialist. Why even hide? Why even have some politically correct speech trying to couch it like we're in civil company and trying to be civil to each other? No, those days are gone. We have the enemy of America is the left, is the Democrats, is our own government. I'll give you a great example today. DEI hire extraordinarily stupid mayor of LA, Karen Bass. Do you know what she's doing now? Have you ever been to LA? LA has so many problems. Police underfunded, understaffed. Fire underfunded, understaffed. No water and fire hydrants. The reservoirs are empty. Crime is skyrocketing. Taxes, housing is off the chart. Homeless everywhere. Graffiti, human feces, urine everywhere. The beaches are polluted. And you know what this DEI crackpot wants to do? Cash assistance to illegal aliens because those illegal aliens are afraid to come out of their house. They can't work and they're running out of food. Can't make this up. Los Angeles is bankrupt. Los Angeles is let me put it this way. If I was told, hey, you're going to go on vacation, okay, great. And my wife said, well, I said, okay, where did you decide to go? Because I really never care. I'm just like, wherever you want to go is fine with me as long as you and Joseph have fun. I'll have fun wherever, just wherever. Let's go. Well, we're going to go to L.A. No, we're not. No. Or I'm not going. I'm not going to L.A. Are you out of your mind? Unless I'm flying to L.A. to see a sporting event and fly home. I'm not going into that jungle, that cesspool. No way in hell am I doing that. I'm not getting on the 405, the 101, and sit there for 4 hours at 3 o'clock in the afternoon to 7 to try to get 15 miles. Not going to do it. Unless you can helicopter me into Santa Barbara, onto a beach, into a resort, and then fly me out of there so I don't have to go to L.A. or through L.A., no. But here you have Karen Bass, DEI hire extraordinary, a terrorist, somebody that did terrorist acts against our government back in the day. She's a disgusting human being, grossly incompetent, absolutely incompetent and corrupt. It's going to give cash assistance to illegal aliens. How about America First? I just talked about these guys and women that are in Trump's cabinet that are just tenacious and speak the truth. Here's my favorite of all. And I have been following him since I got in the Border Patrol and kind of started to do my own research. I kept coming across this guy named Stephen Miller. Stephen Miller. Who is this guy? Stephen Miller was a hardcore anti-illegal alien hawk since he was in high school in Santa Monica. I've been following him, and every time he spoke, I'm like, damn it, that's the guy. That guy knows how to speak. This guy knows the law. He knows the Constitution, and he's unafraid. Listen to what he says about America, America First, USAID, the corruption when he's on Fox News. Stephen Miller, I'm the biggest Stephen Miller fan. The only reason things are really getting done on immigration in the White House, as far as the narrative, is this man. This man needs to have Trump's ear all the time. Everyone else needs to shut up and just listen to Tom Homan and Stephen Miller when it comes to illegal immigration. Go ahead and play this for me, Thomas.
That is more of an entrenched power center of unelected bureaucrats with less accountability, less oversight than USAID. They funnel money to their cronies all over the world through a swampy network of NGOs, non-governmental organizations, and cutouts, including potentially some very troubling elements of focusing on things like regime change and destabilizing foreign countries. But this is not about America's interests. Donald Trump is courageously restoring democracy. Article 2 of the executive branch vests all power by the Constitution. Article 2 of the Constitution vests all power of the executive branch in a president. It's known as the vesting clause. It says the executive power shall be vested in a president, singular, not in the bureaucracy, not in unelected, lifetime tenured career civil servants. Americans voted for one man Donald J. Trump. They didn't vote for a single bureaucrat at USAID. They voted for Donald Trump to make government accountable to the taxpayer, to make government accountable for them. If the Democrats are saying, as they are, that President Trump cannot implement his agenda at USAID, that Donald Trump cannot fire recalcitrant bureaucrats, what they are saying, what Democrats are saying, is they oppose democracy itself. They oppose the idea that the American people can elect a man, in this case, our President Donald Trump, to reform the government according to the will of the people. This is a battle between the will of the people through their President Donald Trump and the will of an unelected federal bureaucracy. So we and President Trump are on the side of democracy.
He's absolutely right. I always tell people when they say, oh, Stephen Miller's this. Okay, what did he say that's wrong? Stop all your, he's a racist and he's a white nationalist. He's a white nationalist. He's Jewish, you morons. White nationalists do not associate with Jewish people. You're so stupid. People are so grotesquely dumb. It's frightening. Stephen Miller is telling you exactly what has to happen and exactly what has happened for decades, but more specifically under Joe Biden, that the federal government has utilized USAID to fund their lives, to enrich them, empower them, to the tune of billions of dollars. Just in 4 years under Joe Biden, hundreds of billions of dollars went to NGOs, international NGOs and domestic NGOs to move 30 million people from across the globe into America. This is treason. This is absolutely treason. And here's one thing, as much as I love Donald Trump, I have to ask this very important question that no one seems to have an answer for. Why has no one been arrested? Where are the arrests? Where are the arrests? I did a documentary called What is Treason Trafficked? Laid out all the people that facilitated the trafficking of children. This is just what I knew and what I know. I don't have the in the weeds fingerprints on the data that Donald Trump or Pam Bondi does, but I sure enough had enough to put a documentary together and say, here, AUSA, U.S. Attorney, you have enough to get an indictment. Why don't we start there? I mean, it's obvious what happened. We have RFK Jr. coming out now and saying under oath, yeah, the federal government was the largest child sex trafficking organization in modern history. They lost over 500,000 children. Gone, disappeared, can't find them. Tom Homan now is touting that they found 10,000. That's great, Tom Homan. I'm proud of you. Let's keep moving, keep doing it. I know you're understaffed, grossly understaffed, but 10,000 out of 550,000 is not even 10%. It's like 2%. 1/5 of 10%. Yeah, about 2%. Where are the arrests? Where, in God's name, is the justice? I don't think I'm such a realist that I don't think I have anything what's called optimism. I have hope. That comes in small waves for me. I'm more of I've seen too much, done too much, experienced too much to believe that people are good, that everything's going to work out, everything's going to be fine. I don't believe that. I just don't. History proves that to be the truth. You have the upper echelon of our society and politicians that are worth millions and millions of dollars, some of them billions. But the, quote, average Joe that comes into Congress, AOCs, Hakeem Jeffries, Republicans like Dan Crenshaw, and on and on and on, are worth millions of dollars. Do you know how much $1 million is? How hard it is to earn $1 million? If you had zero bills, no outlays at all, All your food, everything's paid for. Everything. You don't pay anything. It would take you 6 years to earn $1 million and save $1 million on a government congressional salary. 6 years of not spending a dime. Able to write off all of it on taxes. Having no outlay. Your money is straight money. Like you're an illegal alien working in a farm in Carpinteria, California. You get your paycheck is straight money. And yet those people that I talk about, everyone in Congress I've talked about, are millionaires. When they came in with nothing, maybe $200,000-300,000 in equity in a house, not cash, like equity in your house. That's the best case scenario. Or you're Nancy Pelosi, and now you're worth $250 million. You tell me that we don't have a problem in America? We sit here on our mountaintop of morality and talk about places like Nigeria, the stands across Africa and the Middle East, and the banana republics in South America, Central America. We sit here and we point at them and we go, look at those people. Look at their governments. At least they're up front. They don't hide it. They're just taking over their governments. Yep, we're the rebels. We shot and killed everybody. We took all the money. We own the government now. We're just cleaner. We're more whitewashed. That's all. There's no difference between Adam Schiff and some guy in Nigeria that has a machete or a machine gun that's taken over the government. I'm going to show you another thing before I go on to a different segment. But the whole theme is Donald Trump, and the whole theme is making America great again, America first. We're not there yet. Donald Trump's trying with all his might. I'll give him all the accolades I can, even though I'm sometimes frustrated, but it's very specific frustrations when it comes to Donald Trump. But I want to show you this, and I believe it is a video. Thomas, but before I'm going to cue this up. In June, since the time Donald Trump came into office to the end of June, the June job reports, over 2 million jobs were created for U.S. citizens and 543,000 jobs lost by illegal aliens. When you go back to Biden's time, month over month, hundreds of thousands of jobs were created for illegal aliens, and there was a net loss of millions of jobs for Americans at the end of a year. Every job went to an illegal alien. The net positive was to all illegal aliens. Donald Trump flipped that. And I want to talk more about the June job report. And I know when people hear, oh, the June job report, you're like, your eyes roll back in your head, like mine does, right? I'm just like, hey, just give me the hard numbers. I don't want to get down the weeds. It's not really my specialty. I don't really enjoy it. But there are times where I sit and I force myself to listen to it, and you learn a great deal. To connect that, you're connecting the dots. Go ahead and play this for the audience, Thomas. This is Donald Trump. Maybe one of his biggest achievements is making an economy for America. What a shocking novelty that is.
Seems to be showing up in the jobs data. It's a point that the White House is making. Here's what they said about the latest jobs report. It shows that American-born workers have accounted for all of the job gains since President Trump took office, and wages continue to rise. So here are the numbers that they're talking about. Foreign-born employment has fallen by 543,000 since January, when President Trump took office. Native-born or U.S.-born jobs have increased by more than 2 million since the month Trump started his second term.
Listen to what he said, because this is important, because this goes against the narrative of the propaganda. The propaganda of, well, the greatest economy in the world hinges on, wait for it, hinges on illiterate,
uneducated peasants from the third world. Yeah, the greatest economy in the world hinges. If we don't have millions of uneducated, illiterate peasants with no job skills from all over the third world, they don't know their names, they don't know their date of birth, they barely know how to hold a pencil like they've never seen one before. Yeah, your life and the economy hinges on those people. I'm trying to sell you a bill of goods. Come on, buy it from me. Buy it. Come on. I'm going to just keep saying it over and over again until you agree with it and buy it. And yet, when Donald Trump comes into office, he disproves everything that the left has been saying and the rhinos have been saying for decades. Jobs that Americans won't do. Why is it then over 500,000 illegal aliens got fired, got arrested and deported from their jobs, and 2 million Americans took those jobs and jobs other than it was accounted for in the jobs report? Come on, explain that to me. I'll give you another a data point that contradicts everything that Donald Trump's trying to do with big ag and big service for the amnesty of illegal aliens. They don't want amnesty, they just want slaves. But let's just play that game that they want amnesty. What happened in June? In June, because of the April and May arrest of worksite enforcement by ICE and Border Patrol, they arrested thousands and thousands of construction workers. And everyone's like, nothing's going to be built. Our whole economy, there's no more houses going to be built, no more buildings. Oh my God, the world's ending. We're never going to survive. Oh, wait a minute. The job reports just came out and said construction sector added 15,000 jobs. You just saw the video I played that all new jobs went to U.S. citizens. So those jobs that Americans won't do, 15,000 Americans signed up for those empty jobs. It's all propaganda. It's all a lie. You have been conditioned to believe that America sucks and we need slaves. It's just the truth. And I had this discussion with a debate that's now going on socials with a guy that actually believes that we need illegal aliens greasing the wheels of our labor. And his argument was, well, the companies pass on the savings in labor into the product. What? So a farmer, or not a farmer, a major agriculture company saves $5 an hour per employee on labor, and they pass it on to us? Do you know what kind of mental gymnastics you have to do to believe that BS? 2 million jobs to U.S. citizens. 500,000 illegal aliens gone. Look, one thing that I need more than anything is something to put into my body that's going to beat back the COVID that's inside me. People say, oh, you know what? COVID's gone. It's out of your system. I know that's not true. I don't even know what the data is on this because I don't trust any medical. I just know that I had COVID 3 times. Once before we even knew what COVID was from all the illegal aliens, right before the quote outbreak pandemic. Then I had it twice, and I still have it in my chest and my lungs. I could feel it. I don't need to see a doctor. I feel it in my immune system. I feel it. I know it. 3 doses of remdesivir should have killed me after the first one. I feel it's in my body. So what do? Well, I take bellagrace.com. There's an elixir at Bella Grace. I took a 30-day challenge. It's supposed to work your gut and your immune system. And I took it for 30 days, and I'm like, all right, I feel a difference. I see a difference. I can feel it internally that I'm going to keep doing it. ShopBellaGrace.com/truth. ShopBellaGrace.com/truth. I use every product that I pitch or promote on my show. I believe in it. Thomas, I don't know if you have a commercial. You can go ahead and play that Bella Grace commercial.
Start your day with the glow that comes from within. Introducing Bella Grace Elixir, a beauty secret that nurtures your skin from the inside out. Packed with natural ingredients, Bella Grace helps collagen production, reduce fine lines, and restore your youthful glow. And the best part? Bella Grace is perfect for your busy life. Take it with you on the go wherever you go. Bella Grace Elixir. Discover the secret to timeless beauty. To get your hands on this product, go to www.shopbellagrace.com/truth.
That is a beautiful Abby on shopbellagrace.com/truth. Shopbellagrace.com/truth. I'm going to stay on this, right? I'm going to stay on this America first, because I believe there is nothing more important than America first. America first, America always. And if I had another space on my slogan, is everyone else is not even close second. Like, if I list a top 100 things that need to happen in the world, the top 100 go to America. And until that top 100 is done and solidified, and we are now in the black, in trillions of dollars in the black, then we can discuss. Then and only then can we discuss what we can do for the world. And I mean, the roads are beautiful. Our country's clean. Our water's beautiful. Our hospitals and airports are gleaming. High-speed rail. Everything we've ever wanted is needed. No income tax of any sort, state, local, or federal. None. Zero. And no homeless at all. If we have that, then we can start talking about foreign government, foreign aid to Israel, to Mexico, to Ecuador, to Nigeria. When did taking care of the world supersede taking care of Americans? Don't start with me of, well, who's going to do it? Who's going to do it? We're 36, 37 trillion in debt. Try to wrap your brain around what I just said is in terms of dollars. Trillions. Nobody has any idea what that number is and what it represents. None. Zero. We just keep spending and spending and spending and sending money overseas. And I love this one. The Democrats and the rhinos will say this. I love this. Well, it's just a very small percentage of our total budget. Okay. All right. Okay. Hundreds of billions of dollars to Ukraine. Donald Trump sending more military aid to Ukraine. I didn't vote for that. In fact, President Trump, if we're going to be really critically honest, you said you were going to get rid of this war, stop it within 48 hours. Now you're sending more weapons to Ukraine. But JJ, it's just a small percentage of our overall budget. Okay, when you're driving through Missouri and after an hour you have to get your front end realigned because of all the potholes, or you go down to St. Louis or Detroit, Kansas City, and you see the ruins of cities. Money shouldn't be used for us. You're rebuilding Ukraine. You're still rebuilding Afghanistan, Iraq, Yemen, Syria. You're bombing Iran. You're sending billions of dollars humanitarian aid to a first world nation called Israel that has trillions of dollars in wealth. You're sending money to China, our enemy. There's so much wrong with our government. There is so much wrong with our world. It is shocking. And I will say this as a former law enforcement officer, there is no justice. If you believe, my audience, I want you to hear me clearly. If you believe there is some lady with a blindfold ensuring that there's no bias, prejudice, or injustice in the justice system, you're a fool. There is no justice. There is simply no justice at all. Case in point, Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, Jeffrey Epstein, Alan Dershowitz, entire media complex, Oprah Winfrey. We're just talking about Epstein here. Let's talk about Russia hoax. Clapper, Brennan, Comey, McCabe. The FBI was weaponized. Let's talk about the poor January 6ers that were put in solitary confinement, was not given bail, and rotted in prison. Let's talk about Tina Peters that's still rotting in prisons as a 70-year-old plus mother, Gold Star mother, because she told us all and gave us the information that, yeah, the elections were fraudulent and were a joke. 2020 election, nobody even actually fights anymore. They just say, yeah, it's an abomination. But let's move on. Just like we raped your poor daughter almost to death and then destroy your son, he's never going to be able to go to the bathroom correctly, like physically correctly. But listen, let's move on. Let's be a good Christian and turn the other cheek, and let's move on. Now, you know what? Nothing makes me, I hate hypocrisy. I do. But nothing, absolutely nothing chaps my rear end more than injustice. I hate it. I hate it. And these people that get away with these heinous crimes. And then what makes it even worse than the heinous crime are the sheep, the dolts that in our society that try to preach Christianity, to try to preach some kind of forgiveness. You guys can go pound sand. Number one, that's not Christianity. You're telling me the God that eviscerated complete populations on planet Earth is looking down at his beautiful little daughters and sons that have been sexually destroyed, that are being destroyed right now. And when we find out, oh yeah, they're doing it, God is demanding you just to turn the other cheek. In fact, turn your whole head away from it. Don't acknowledge it. Ignore it. And then when you can't ignore it anymore, make excuses for those people and let's just move on. That's the God? That's the God you're trying to preach to me that rules over me? Not buying it. I never bought it. Even as a young man, never bought it. I always knew instinctively something's wrong with the way Christianity is being taught to me. I just could not articulate it to myself as a young man, or even as a young adult, to be able to articulate it. But I always knew instinctively this is wrong. There's no way that God, the God that I'm reading about, is that impotent and is that cowardly, is that forgiving. I don't believe it. I don't. I believe Christianity is being watered down to some feel-good infomercial. That's what I believe. I want to show you something where I tell you or give you an example of how out of control the elites are, and that you are nothing but a host for parasites. Us, the American worker bees. We just create so parasites can take from us. I'm going to show you a short clip. Federal Reserve is building the most expensive project in DC history. The Federal Reserve. $2.5 billion building with now over $700 million of cost overruns. These are the people, the banks that run our currency and feed off of us. And we, the dumbasses we are building them a new building that costs $2.5 billion. Do you know that I can build entire stadiums that hold 75,000 people with amenities that rival any five-star hotel in the world? for $2.5 billion. Are we building a building that holds 75,000 people? Is that what you're trying to tell me? We're talking about facilities that cost $2.53 billion, sports facilities that you hit a button and the ceiling encloses and all the bleachers change and conform into a concert, and then go to a tennis match, and then go to a basketball, then go back to the original football. Are you building a new football stadium in downtown DC that's called the Federal Reserve? Go ahead and play this for us, Thomas, and try not to vomit America.
This is the most expensive project in DC history, $2.5 billion with a $700 billion cost overrun. To put that in perspective, the cost overrun for this Federal Reserve project is about the same size as the second biggest building overhaul in American history, which was the FBI building. And so the Fed has a lot to answer for. And the bottom line is that there's a key statutory problem. In 1913, when we founded the Fed, the U.S. was under a gold standard. So it was never envisioned by the people that voted for the construction of the Fed that we currently see, that the Fed could print money and toss it around willy-nilly because they had to have the gold to do what they're doing. And they're unbounded right now.
Unbounded. We're paying for it. $2.5 billion for a building for the Federal Reserve. Why are we on the Federal Reserve? Why are we allowing bankers to It's almost not worth even talking about. I know that's not the truth, but that's how I feel sometimes. Like the absurdity just continues. It seems like it never ends. We're building a brand new FBI building because we want the FBI to be more efficient and stronger. Well, wait a minute. It has been proven without a shadow of a doubt that the FBI is absolutely the most corrupt law enforcement agency in the world. And we're going to build a bigger, stronger, and more efficient FBI? By the same guy, Cash Patel, that said that the FBI should be a museum and scattered across America? That same guy? Yeah, that same guy. Here's what Trump's trying to do, too. Think of the common sense on this. Donald Trump's going to eliminate all capital gains on real estate, home sales. So when you buy a home and you spend 50-60% of your income on your mortgage, property tax, paying tax on something you bought for the rest of your life, like that's legal. That's legal. Mm-hmm. And then you sell your house, and then it hits over a limit, then you have to pay tax on that capital gains. Why don't we do this? I think this is the most effective way. Why don't we give all of our paycheck? It doesn't go to us. It just goes to the government, and then the government sends us an allotment that they think that we should live off of. Why don't we just do that? We're giving a percentage of it to Social Security, which they take and give it to Ukraine, and then come back and give me 1 and 1.5% interest on it over a course of a lifetime. So I work my whole lifetime, and illegal aliens can come into America and they get more money from SSI than I do when I have to wait till I'm 67 or 70 years old to begin to withdraw. Because at 62, I can't live off 62, so I got to keep working. I go to Walmart, become a greeter, but illegal aliens get more money than me. Thomas, play this clip with Donald Trump's trying to reorganize the income tax.
What do you think about this new bill that's going to basically eliminate no capital gains tax on home sales to be able to free up the money people who've owned a house for a long time can't afford to pay the capital gains?
Yeah, well, we're looking at that, and it could be a very big positive. I don't think for you, because you make so much money, it doesn't matter. But I think it's going to be a great incentive for a lot of people that really need money.
So between that and Jerome Powell stepping down, that could really boost home sales.
Well, I think if Jerome Powell stepped down, it would be a great thing. I don't know that he's going to, but he should.
He should. Jerome Powell should step down. Absolutely. Donald Trump needs to, I don't know how he does it. I'll be honest. I don't know how he does it, but he's already mentioned it multiple times. We need to stop looking at the chipping away at problems like no tax on tips, no tax overtime, now no capital gain tax on this. How about no income tax, no federal income tax? It's illegal. You don't have to do it. You think I'm crazy? Start doing your own research on that. I'm gonna do a show totally on that coming soon. You don't have to pay it. It's a lie. It's a fraud. We're taxed probably around 70% of our total income when you add everything up. But we allowed it. We, the people, have allowed it. I talked about earlier bellagrace.com about my immune system. I use Bella Grace and I use another product called Pet Club 24/7. And they have a proprietary extraction of a mushroom out of Japan. They're able to put into a capsule, into a balm, into pet food, pet treats, because we all share the same type of immune system, and it has been destroyed by chemtrails. We have metals in our soil from the sky that's in our food. Our immune system is trying to eradicate foreign substances that should never be in our body. So I take Bella Grace and I take Pet Club 24/7. And I trust them. I trust the owners, Kurt and Kristen. Incredible Christian family, couple. Thomas, can you play this Pet Club commercial for me? Love that company. Love that commercial. Go to truthwithjjcarrell247.com, truthwithjj247.com. You have to be prepared for this war that we're in. We're being attacked from all fronts. I hate the term black pill. And some people use that against me. Say, oh, look, he's black pilling. No, I'm just telling you the truth. If you don't like the truth, if it hurts too much for you, then go watch someone else. That's my plea to you. You don't like it? You think that I'm blackpilling? Well, then go somewhere else. Or why don't you do this? Why don't you come at me and say what I've said is wrong? You feel like you're undertaxed? You feel like the elites are getting justice when they commit crimes? You feel as if your government is not favoring illegal aliens over you? You feel as if your roads, hospitals, schools, healthcare, your government is using the tax money appropriately, and that we should send more money overseas to foreign adversaries? You believe that? You believe your healthcare providers are giving you the right medicine and telling you to do the right thing, or the pharmaceuticals run everything? Are you telling me that your premiums are too low, that you need to pay more? Are you going to try to tell me that open borders is a good thing? Are you going to tell me that arresting 30,000 illegal aliens and deporting them every month is great when there's 50 million illegal aliens in our country? Tell me where I'm wrong. I don't mind being wrong. I'll own up to it. Absolutely, I'll own up to it. But show me where I'm wrong. Show me where America is stronger than it's ever been. Yeah, you can't. You just can't.
you.